Morning. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Okay, hold on. I just want to make sure I can see the comments on both places. And then we'll get started because what we have to talk about today is super important, right? This is something that everybody needs to be learning. But as you're coming in, I want you to first tell me where you're tuning in from, okay? Where are you coming from? Where are you watching from? Because I always love seeing who is watching and where you're joining from. And while you're typing that into the chats, I do have a question for you, okay? How many of you have watched AI videos? You've maybe saved prompts, downloaded tools, and you maybe even bought some courses, right? But you still feel like you're standing in the exact same place. If that's you, I want you to go ahead and drop a me down in the comments, okay? All right. Let me see if I can see. I'm just trying to make sure I can see all of my comments, y'all, because I don't want to miss any comments because you all are important, okay? All right, all right. So, awesome. I see all the me's, right? So look, I want you to know something. You're not alone, all right? In fact, you're exactly where I wanted to talk to today, okay? You're exactly who I wanted to talk to today because today isn't another AI class. So I'm not going to teach you 10 prompts, right? I'm not going to show you the newest shiny AI tool because 6 months from now, there will be another tool, another update, another video calling you, right? It's going to be another video that's telling you this changes everything. But today, I want to talk about something that doesn't change, okay? You. YOU. All right. Now, here's what I actually discovered. The reason AI isn't changing most people's lives has very little to do with AI, and it has everything to do with identity. I want you to write that down. I hope you have a pen and a paper. I should have said that from the beginning. Now, identity before implementation, okay? If that already makes sense, I want you to go ahead and type identity in the comments. Now, before we go any further, I want to tell you something about me. All right. I didn't get into AI because I had this amazing business strategy. I wasn't trying to become an AI educator. Back in 2024, I was literally just making pictures in ChatGPT and Facebook. That's it. I wasn't thinking I'm going to build a business. I wasn't thinking one day people are going to pay me to teach this. I was just curious and I thought it was fun. All right. I sit, I sit there like creating images and trying different prompts and playing around for hours. If you would have told me this back then, Felicia, one day you'll have a mentorship, you'll be teaching entrepreneurs, you'll have a community, you'll be going live talking about I would have laughed because I couldn't see then what God already saw in me. And that's what I tell people. Never underestimate the small beginnings because sometimes your purpose doesn't show up with a name tag. Sometimes your purpose shows up disguised as curiosity. Has anybody ever started something just because you were curious and it ended up changing your life? I want you to go ahead and type curious if that's been you. Okay. Now, look, here's what I learned AI didn't change my life, my decision changed my life. AI simply amplified my decision. And that's the mistake that so many people are making. They're asking AI, what should I post? Before they ever ask themselves, who am I called to help? They're asking, what's the best prompt? Before they ask, what problem am I solving? So now you have confused prompts. And so you're going to have confused positioning. Clear prompts come from clear purpose. If you agree with that, type purpose. I'll never forget February the 11th. I almost didn't go live. The views weren't impressive. And I remember looking at my screen thinking, why am I even doing this? What am I even doing? Is anybody listening? Does it even matter? Maybe you've asked yourself the exact same questions. Maybe not about going live. Maybe about your business. Maybe about your dream. Maybe about your purpose. But here's what happened. In the middle of that ordinary live, I made my first sale. And I'll never forget that notification. And not because of the money, but because of what it represented. For the first time, someone I had never met believed in me enough to invest in me. And I remember smiling. I almost cried on that live, but y'all know I didn't want to do that because it wasn't just any sale for me. It was confirmation. Confirmation that consistency matters. Confirmation that showing up matters. Confirmation that you can be in one live, one conversation, and one decision away from everything changing. And the craziest part about that live, y'all, is that I was so scared and I was so nervous. And my voice was shaking and it was cracking and it was trembling, y'all. But can I ask you something? How many of you have ever been ready to quit, but something inside you said, just try one more time? If that's you, go ahead and type one more in the comments. Now, I want you to hear me, okay? Because your breakthrough may be hiding behind the thing that you're about to quit. Here's the biggest mindset shift that I can give you today, okay? If you don't hear anything else from me today, here is the one thing that I can give you. Most people don't have an AI problem. You don't. You have a belief problem. Because no AI tool can convince you that you're worthy. No prompt can replace confidence. And no software can give you purpose. Those things have to come from you. AI is just the amplifier. Think about a microphone, right? If you whisper, the microphone makes the whisper louder. But if I sing, the microphone makes the singing louder. Did the microphone create my voice? No. It amplified what was already there. AI works exactly the same way. If you're confident, AI amplifies confidence. If you're consistent, AI amplifies consistency. If you're confused, AI amplifies confusion. That's why two people can use the exact same prompt and one builds a business while the other quits in 30 days. Same prompt, different identity. Type amplify if that just clicked for you. Everything changed for me when I stopped asking, what tool do I need? And I started asking, who am I becoming? That's why I created the paid framework. P is for position yourself. Who do you help? What problem do you solve? What transformation do you create? Because people don't buy prompts, people buy transformation. A, apply AI. Now AI has direction. Now AI becomes your assistant, not your identity. I, implement income systems, right? Because people don't like paying bills, right? And likes don't pay the bills. Comments don't pay the bills. Systems pay bills. All right. And D, dominate your destiny. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting until you feel ready and start becoming the person your future requires. Now, I want you to hear this because this one sentence changed everything for me. Identity comes before implementation. Always. You cannot consistently do what you don't believe you are. You don't accidentally become healthy. At some point, you start saying, I'm someone who takes care of myself. You don't accidentally become a business owner. One day, you decide, I'm a business owner. Your identity always comes before your behavior. And I think that's where so many people get stuck. They keep saying, I'm trying, I'm thinking about it, I'm hoping, I'm learning. No. Today, I want you to make a decision. Who are you? Not who do you hope to become, right? But who are you becoming today? Because once you decide, your actions start catching up to your identity. So type decide if you're ready to stop trying and start becoming. hmm Now, I don't want this to be another live where you feel inspired and then you close YouTube and you close Facebook. And by tomorrow, you've forgotten everything we've talked about. I want you to leave with homework, with real homework, not busy work, but transformation work. I want you to grab a notebook today and I want you to answer these 4 questions, okay? Question number 1, who do I help? And I want you to be specific. And I don't mean everybody, one person. Question number 2, what problem do I solve? Because people don't buy AI, right? People buy solutions. Question number 3, what transformation do I create? How is someone's life different because they met you? And finally, question number 4, who do I need to become to build the life I keep praying for? That last one, that last question, That's the question. Because your future isn't waiting on another prompt. It's waiting on another version of you. Now, if you actually do this homework, I want you to type homework. Okay? Good, good. All right, so now here's your second assignment. All right? I want everyone to write this down. I help, and you're going to fill that in. Achieve, fill that in. Buy, fill that in. All right? Don't make it perfect. Just make it make sense. Make it honest. And I'll give you mine. This is your example, okay? I help everyday people stop feeling left behind by AI by teaching simple systems that can actually use to build income and confidence. Now it's your turn. I want you to type yours in the comments. Okay? So I'll be looking for that. Just looking to see if I see anything on Facebook over here. Okay. And then, all right, awesome, awesome. All right. So now what I want to leave you with is one thought. Okay. So when I started making AI images, I had no idea where this would actually lead to. Right. Because like I told y'all, I almost skipped February the 11th because I had no ideas that someone was about to change my entire life, right? Most breakthroughs don't announce themselves. They usually show up and they look like ordinary days. So that's why you've got to keep showing up, even when you don't feel like it, even when the views are low, even when no one is clapping, because consistency builds what motivation never can. Inspired, and by tomorrow life is going to happen. You're gonna have the laundry, the job, the kids, the distractions, and this feeling that you have right now is going to fade. And not because you don't want it, right? It's because inspiration doesn't last. Your environment does. That's why I created Paid with AI. It's not another course, a community, a mentorship. Okay. It's a place where you don't have to figure this all out by yourself. We go live together, we build together, we hold each other accountable. And I want to show you something. Okay. I want to do the math with you. All right. So VIP is $67 a month. All right. That's already more than $197. Annual VIP is $670. But lifetime VIP is $197 one time, one payment. No monthly clock hanging over your head. No wondering if you should cancel next month. You get to learn at your pace. You get to disappear for a week if life happens, and you can come right back. You're not renting your growth, you're investing in it. That's why I built it this way, because I don't want you building your future under pressure. I want you building it with confidence. And if you're not ready today, that's okay. Do the homework, write your AI identity statement, and start showing up. But if you're tired of trying to build alone, if you're ready for mentorship, accountability, implementation, and a community that's going in the same direction, I want you to comment paid and I'll send you the link. Now, I started this live by asking why AI isn't changing your life. And now I want to leave you with a different question. Who do you need to become? So AI can amplify the life you're meant to build. Now, I want you to remember this. Position before prompts, because when your identity becomes clear, your content becomes clear. Your content becomes clear. Your confidence becomes clear. Your business becomes clear. And AI simply amplifies the person you've already decided to become. I love you all. Thank you for spending this time with me. Now, go and do the thing. And I'll see you inside Paid with AI.